finally, X-Men 97. I thought, okay, I went into this with low expectations. I was like, it's probably going to suck, but I'll check it out. And I did the homework, guys. I binged all 5 seasons of the original series leading up to this.
Last season's great, isn't it?
You know what's funny? The last season starts off not too terrible. I actually posted like a video of Forge's mustache disappearing. But then I think 2 or 3 episodes in, then that's when the animation gets really bad. They don't even look like how they're supposed to anymore. So yeah, I went in, I was all caught up, and I'm like, let's see how they ruin it. But I didn't want it to fail. I wasn't one of those guys going around and be like, don't watch it. I heard they're going to do this. They're going to do this. I watched this series. Guys, this must be the greatest X-Men thing I've seen in a very long time. Probably the best Marvel thing I've seen since pre-Endgame. I kind of love this goddamn series. It was friggin' awesome. Just a little bit of the plot here. It picks up right where the last one left off. Well, it skips ahead a few months. So Professor X is in space getting healed. And in that time, we find out that Magneto is now the leader of the X-Men, which was in the Professor's will. And so that's one storyline. We find out that Jean Grey at some point got switched with another girl, a clone, the Goblin Queen, Madeline Pryor, and that's Cable's mother. And she's got weird dream powers. That was cool. Storm gets her powers taken away, and her and Forge fight an owl or something. I don't know. That one kind of was struggling to hold my interest. We found out Mojo lost weight, and you know what? Thank God. He gives me hope. I'm on my own weight loss journey. I'm like, if Mojo can do it, I can do it. I can do it.
And he looks great.
It turns out Magneto and Rogue boned in the past. They kept that on the DL, and Gambit finds out about it. Professor X, he's hanging out with his space girlfriend. He's got to choose between becoming the Emperor of Space. That's probably not the real title, or going back to Earth. Then Genosha gets utterly and completely destroyed by a giant 3-headed sentinel, and the whole time Wolverine's there. Doug, what did you think of X-Men 97?
It was all right. No, I loved it.
Okay.
I loved I mean, look at this, man. I came to represent. No, I loved the hell out of it. I was excited going into this because the original creators, I had them on the show, and they were telling me about this show, and they said, you know, you're always thinking, they're going to say, they want to do their own thing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And they said, no, they run everything by us. Everyone that works on the show has to be an X-Men fan, has to have seen all of the original show. And even though they're not directing it or anything, they say they run, would you do this? Is this the road you would take? We want to change this up. Is that okay? I mean, they just ran everything by these people. And I think that's why it still feels like it's in that same world, but it is evolved. They do make it, definitely more aggressive. I mean, some of the imagery in this is downright nightmarish. Like, I love the original X-Men show, but I didn't ever end an episode shouting "Christ" at the end of it. Like,
which got out. The Fox kids kind of limited what they could do back then. They're a little bit more free on Disney Plus.
But that's what's so weird on Disney. Yeah, that they would let that be more free. And I think what I like about the show is they up it, but it still keeps in connection to the original spirit, because something they said that was a big difference between them and Batman the Animated Series is that in X-Men they tried to squeeze in a lot more information, just constant information thrown at you, which you think wouldn't be good, but they always used it to push either something about character or move the story forward all the time. And that's what they keep to in this, and that's part of the charm of comic books. Like, I really felt like I was just reading a comic book like come to life, reading this while still reliving the glory days of like that X-Men cartoon and kind of the 90s and stuff like that. Like, I'm not kidding. After the first 2 episodes, I went, I couldn't wait every week for the next episode. I can't remember the last show where it's like, I cannot wait for the next one. And every single Wednesday when it came on, I went and I got a bowl of cereal and milk. I like, what is it? Crunch Berries. That's what I always had. And it just felt so good watching this, hearing that theme song, and just being like, man, I am excited to see what is going to happen next. And it's that same childlike wonder, but because they know the audience grew up they make that excitement and that suspense there for adults as well. Like as an adult, you're invested and you're afraid of what's going to happen, and the suspense is there. And I thought that is such a tricky thing to balance out. But I thought they did it so well. And any complaints I have about are very, very minor. I think everyone's going to have some issues with it. But I was really blown away by how well put together this was.
Yes. Before we go to Joey C, sorry, we have someone sabotaging the stream. I guess the chat wasn't enough. Yes, Adam, what did you think of X-Men?
Okay, I just wanted 2 minutes because you have Doug Walker on it, and I've been a fan of Doug since he was on Channel Awesome exclusively and nothing more. So I just want to say hi to Doug. You're awesome, man.
It's Daniel now.
It was the first show I ever watched on the internet. Big lip alligator moment. I was frozen today. Like I remember all the quotes like it was yesterday. So I just want to say hi, and I appreciate all the content you put out over the years.
Oh my God! Thank you so much, and I am aware of who you are. So thank you.
I mean, I'm in the middle of packing, so I look very disheveled, and I apologize. This is all
you look very manly. That's the theme of the show. That the only thing is, you have to have a Y at the end of your name. We decided. We're calling Gil Gilly. Atomy. There we go.
Atomy. Yeah. I don't actually like that, Doug, but that's okay.
Okay. That's okay. I've fallen off the radar, man. I've lost my touch. Don't worry.
That's the rest of Adam's night now. He's going to be like, I shouldn't have said that to him. I should have said it.
All respect is out the window at this point. No, I just wanted to say thanks for all the content. I'll leave you guys be now. It's a mess here, so I just wanted to say hi really quick.
Oh, God, thank you so much. That's really nice of you.
Later.
Take it.
Any other co-hosts want to come on and fanboy out? Feel free. I guess just jump in there, I guess. What the hell?
Tony, you're amazing. I've been watching your content for years.
There you go.
You know, I'm going to get him on season 3 of Smiling Friends, because we're like this, man. We're like this.
You know what? If Crystal was smart, she would have caught on his cell phone instead of spending money to shit on it. Joey C, what did you think of X-Men 97? Did you grow up with the X-Men cartoon?
More importantly, what do you think of me? No.
Yes. Doug, you're very handsome. I'd love to.
Thank you. Manly.
Rub your head. Anyhow, I wasn't always a big manly man. You know, and I wasn't always this manly. I was once a small, well, I'm still small, but I was once a smaller kid. We used to watch this religiously, so I was really looking forward to it. I'm a pretty casual X-Men fan, man. That's a tongue twister. Even though this is a continuation, I didn't remember jack shit from the original show. So that was kind of a bummer because I felt like the lore was a bit convoluted, but it's my own fault. The voiceovers was fucking awesome. The action was awesome. The animation style brought me back to the 90s, man. This was great. And plus, Nightcrawler was fucking kick-ass, man.
Dude, when Wolverine is fighting those, like, zombie sentinels, and he stabs the guy as Nightcrawler's teleporting, and he's still stabbing him through that, like, teleportation realm, I'm like, that's the coolest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, it's fucking classic shit, man.
Real quick, Joey, so you're right. They don't really explain a lot of the lore. I think that's intentional because they want people like you who are jumping into this going, wait, was that a character in the original show? Did that happen in the original show? And then they go, where can I watch the original show? Oh, on the app that I currently have. Let me go back and now binge all 5 seasons of that. I think that was strategic, them not really explaining too much.
Yeah.
Sorry.
In comics, they would do the footnote where it's like, see issue, you know.
Bob.
Yeah. Oh, God. Fucking the Marvel movies are going to have to start doing that soon. They're just like, you should have watched this episode of Miss Marvel or whatever.
If only somebody would make a recap of all that stuff.
Actually, Gil, you do that.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? The next Marvel movie that I see in theaters, I mean, I'm probably not going to see a Marvel movie in theaters. I'll probably wait until it hits streaming and then wait 4 months after that. I want like a character to come on and be like, to know what this is, subscribe to One Take on YouTube and watch this video. Doug, if you don't know, Gil did a whole cohesive timeline of the entire MCU and several other films, including the Monsterverse, which I helped with before my Godzilla channel got deleted. But anyway, Gil, how did you feel about X-Men 97?
I liked it. I didn't grow up on the original series, so I was a lot of points where I was like, they really did that in a kids show like Magneto and Rogue, and I don't know. But I was really impressed, especially with the first episode, the way they were able to balance that many different characters in the span of 30 minutes and give each one a unique personality. And with a few lines, you can get to know where each one of them is coming from. So anytime something crazy happens, you immediately get 12 different reactions and perspectives on it. But I do think at 30 minutes, some of the episodes felt very fast. I think especially episode 3, I think it was, when you get into all of the Jean clone drama, it all happens so quickly. And almost like a love triangle between Cyclops and the two Jeans, like that stuff, I would have loved to spend more time. And I've seen people describe the show as soap opera-ish, and I love melodrama, and I think a lot of it worked. But when you move through things so quickly and you're just skipping to the high emotion moments, I think that's when it feels very soap opera-ish. But there were also episodes that I loved. I think somebody in the chat called out episode 5, but when that all goes down in Genosha, it does that thing where everyone's happy, everyone's dancing, and then you just hear someone in the background like, turn off the music, stop. And it's that unsettling feeling of like, what the hell is going on? It was so emotional.
Did you happen to see my tweet? Sorry, X post. Did you see my X post about it?
Especially
No, I didn't see it.
I posted a picture of Nightcrawler hugging Gambit and Rogue, and I went, after binge watching the original X-Men series, I'm now making my way through X-Men 97. Just started the Genosha episode. Can't wait to see what wacky adventures Nightcrawler go on. I'm sure it'll leave me with another smile on my face. And then the follow-up to that, I retweeted it, and it's George Michael with his head down and the rest of development. It's like the first 4 episodes. They get a little heavy with like Cyclops having to give his son up to because he's got that virus. They got to send him to the future to cure it. But they were mostly like kind of in tone with what would have been on the original show.
That's
like,
what I've heard.
or in a comic book. I think that's the biggie.
And, although apparently what happened in that episode is from a comic, I learned. A lot of these storylines are from comics. But yeah, so I think the Mojo episode is the one right before Genosha, maybe, or maybe it was the Storm episode with the owl.
It was both. I think they did both there. Yeah. I gotta point out, by the way, two things my brother said about this show, and I think they're really good points. One is that he said with the Mojo episode, again, without giving away too much, he said, wouldn't that have been better if that was Magneto setting that all up in the Danger Room, and that was like Jubilee's present, her birthday present, and it's like the present is like still this test that's gonna like risk your life, and I'm like, that would have been really good.
I like that.
Yeah, but one other thing he pointed out is that he said, do you realize like one season of this show, this X-Men show, would have been like 3 seasons of any other Disney Marvel show live action? And I thought that's such a good point that shows really, even though sometimes they do cram in too much, how much they do efficiently still make you care while you're having all this information thrown at you.
Yeah, but the Genosha episodes where things like take a hard pivot. But then, even then, it's not like it's all doom and gloom. They still work in one-liners. They work in the humor. They work in like the cheesy dialogue when it's appropriate. They know when to go really deep and real heavy and then like really, really light. I enjoyed all of it. I love what they did with Wolverine at the end, because everyone I think has read. I think like in the 90s, some kid had that comic where that happened to Wolverine, what Magneto did to him. So to finally see that in animated form, which would have never been in the Fox Kids one.
No.
So I'm like, I'm glad they could do little stuff like that now. It was a lot of fun. But like, I've been going through the X-Men movies. We've been reviewing them on the channel. This week we put out X-Men First Class. So I'm in like we're going all in on X-Men this year because Wolverine's coming back. Who would have ever thought Jackman would unretire? So like this was perfect for me. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Like I just rewatched the show. Let me go into this. And it made me like super nostalgic. I don't know if anyone on this panel ever gets nostalgic over anything. But this one made me really nostalgic. And I'm like, I kind of want them to do more. Spider-Man, the cartoon Spider-Man ended on a cliffhanger. So I kind of want a Spider-Man.
Well, which one? The 90s one or Spectacular?
No, the 90s one. Remember Mary Jane? Like,
see, I want Spectacular Spider-Man, man. That's the one I want them to do. Well, next. I mean, there's still like 3 seasons they were supposed to do.
If they were smart, they would do Spider-Man because that was like the second biggest, and then they could do like like X-Men Evolution never got around to doing Dark Phoenix or anything.
That's true. Yeah. There's a lot of those missing.
So they could do other ones like, hey, we're doing like these one-off seasons to close the story. Although I think they have more planned for this, but those other ones, I think it'd be smart to kind of like finish them in a season.
And in the 90s, there were 2 Sonic shows. I think we can have X-Men 97, X-Men Evolution, Spider-Man 90 whatever, and Spectacular Spider-Man. Let's do 2 at the same time. I think that'd be awesome.
And let's bring Silver Surfer back. I used to love that cartoon.
I mean, with all the cameos in this, it did make me really love the idea of like a side Marvel universe with just interconnected shows. Like Spider-Man, Captain America, Avengers, like that would be awesome.
Oh, speaking of people who clearly didn't rewatch the original, there were people complaining about the cameos. There's just people who just like to shit on Disney and Marvel, which is fine. I do it too. But their new thing is to hate on multiverses because it's been done poorly lately. But so now they think the whole concept is terrible and it's just for cameos. So people were sharing the cameos in that episode. They're like, oh, just pandering, whatever. I'm like, no, watch the original like Marvel cartoons of the 90s. There were cameos constantly. Black Panther there's one episode where they were in Africa and they show Black Panther on a hill looking at a spaceship go off or something.
Yeah, I thought it was clever. They did it at the end too, because that's what the original show did. When something big was going on, that every Marvel character had to turn. And real quick, with the original, they couldn't call them Captain America and stuff like that because they technically didn't have the right. So it's like American Soldier or something like that. Like they would always call him something different in the credits.
Yeah. I was looking at a video that was like all the cameos in Marvel cartoons, and there's one where the X-Men have a cameo in a Fantastic Four episode, but like the animation was so shitty that Wolverine's shirt literally changes as he's turning around to look up at the sky. Look, I love those like Spider-Man and X-Men. Goddamn, the animation could have been really rough at times. They were on a budget. I'm excited to see where this goes. This really made me really happy. This is one of the few things that I'm probably gonna watch again. I rarely rewatch modern TV shows. I think the last one I did was Twisted Metal. Me and Joey C reviewed that. The Twisted Metal show was awesome. I don't know if you got to see that.
So good.
I heard it's really good. Yeah.
If you grew up playing that game, give that show a chance. It's a good time. But yeah, I guess any final thoughts on X-Men 97? Go down the list here. Go down the line.
Man, it's one of those where it's one of the rare shows where there's so much to talk about. You almost kind of go blank, like you just kind of want to talk about like everything about it. I don't know. Just if you're okay, I'll say this: did anyone here not watch the original show, like not see it? Gilly, did you see it? Okay, and you still got into it then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's real proof right there that there's something really special here, because that was my assumption, is that, man, you're going to have to have seen the original show to follow it, though. So I think the fact that fans of the original love it and then newcomers can get into it, too, I think is a real sign that they have something fantastic here.
Yeah. Joey, any last thoughts?
You know how last year, Tony, you shaved your head, right?
Yeah.
This year, you're going to grow your hair out. Like Wolverine.
Oh, no. I got to send you a picture later. Don't worry. We're doing a What is the Best Wolverine episode this year. I got something special planned for it. In development. Actually, my hair will occasionally, when it's long, will do the Wolverine thing, but it doesn't stay like that. Like, I can get it to stay up for a little bit, and then as soon as I go outside, the heat hits, and it just, like, falls down.
You're going to look like a DJ when that happens.
Gil, final thoughts.
Anytime the theme song kicked in during an action sequence when they're all working together, worked so well.
Yeah.
So
that happened in the old show too. That whenever the team was fighting, they're like, gotta hit the X-Men theme. All I ask for the next season is like, can we give Wolverine something better than he just really loves Jean? Because I feel like audiences all over who've watched the movie, I think we get it. He loves Jean. We fucking get it. We don't care anymore. Can you give him a new girlfriend at least to simp over? Because I feel like he didn't really have much to do on his own, which I guess is nice because all the films went so heavy on Wolverine. I get
agree.
that. But it would have been nice to have like something for him. Like in the old show, he was always sad about Morph, but now Morph is there, so he's not sad about that anymore. Now he's like, man, although I did like that there's now 2 Jean Greys, but then they killed one of them. He's like, oh, my backup Jean died.
It is a little weird weird he didn't kind of just be like, oh, well, there's two, opportunities.
Fate gave me a second gene, so I don't have to cuck my friend Cyclops. This is great. Oh, she's dead. And also with Gambit. I felt so bad for Gambit. Spoilers.
He's coming back. It's funny because you were talking about some episodes that had too much info going. That episode that everybody loved. That is the one for me. I'm like, yeah, I feel the emotion, but I feel like there's too many things going on here. Where when it got there, I'm like, he's not dead. But
I was watching it. I was just like, look, you could either have his girlfriend cheat on him or kill him. You can't do both. That's really mean.
Yeah.
That's really mean. Like, come on. Get the guy a break. All right, that's it for the reviews. Let's read some of our super chats here.